I lost 20 pounds fast, and the wild part is I didn't do it by starving myself, counting calories, or turning into some gym obsessed robot. I did it by finally getting honest with myself. And if you're a parent running on caffeine chaos and a schedule that barely gives you room, I promise you can do this too. I'm a dad with kids, a job, and barely any quiet time in my day. I'm not a fitness influencer, I'm not tracking my macros, and I'm definitely not someone with hours to spend in the gym. I was basically just tired of feeling sluggish, inflamed, and disappointed every time I looked in the mirror. So I made some very simple changes, and once I did, the weight started coming off almost immediately, really without any effort. Now obviously this will be different for everybody, but this all started with the moment on the scale. I stepped on, looked at the number, and thought, yeah, no, this isn't really me anymore. I better watch it before I go down a slippery slope. But instead of jumping into some strict, crazy diet that I knew I would basically just quit in a week, I started looking at my habits with brutal honesty. Everyone has a vice. For some, it's soda, fast food, a little bit of alcohol. For me, it was candy. I could sit down with a whole bag and mindlessly eat the entire thing without realizing it. So I cut it out. Not all sugar, not all the fun, just the binging. If your vice is something different, then that's where you need to start. You see, here's the thing. I still eat what I like, I just don't overdo it anymore. I eat smaller portions, like snack style meals during the day. And dinner is usually my biggest meal. I eat enough to satisfy cravings without pushing myself into that uncomfortable, I can't breathe because I ate too much food coma feeling. I started using the hand rule for portions just to keep myself in check. So no measuring cups, no food scales, no obsession, just awareness. And I loosely track my protein. I just do that in my head. That's it. No overcomplicating anything. One thing that I did start to incorporate was intermittent fasting. This ended up being a game changer for me. My last meal is usually dinner around 4 to 6 p.m. I'm not that big into breakfast, so that really helps me leverage this type of style too, especially during the weekdays. So by the time I get to lunch, I've already fasted 16 to 18 hours without even trying. My energy increased, my hunger is more normalized, and I started burning fat without feeling deprived. On the days I'm not lifting, I started running. Nothing crazy, just 30 minutes, about 2 miles, enough to get my heart rate up, clear my mind, and keep things moving forward. It's simple and very sustainable. Sleep was another huge one. I started going to bed earlier and aiming for at least 7 hours. And I had to get real with myself about the difference between actual exhaustion and the fake tiredness that comes from just not wanting to get up and started for the day. If my body genuinely needs the rest, I take it, or I move my workout later in the day, but I don't let myself be tricked by excuses. Being in tune with your body means knowing you're actually needing recovery versus you're trying to avoid discomfort. I also drink a ton of water to the point where it might be a little bit annoying and how often I go to the bathroom, like every hour. But hydration keeps everything functioning the way it should. It also keeps you a little bit full if you're doing those fasts. My biggest mindset shift that I made was I stopped the dieting. I stopped forcing myself into these miserable rules that I knew I wouldn't stick with. And instead, I started strategizing. I started building habits based on honesty and awareness instead of restriction and guilt. When you start paying attention to your body, really listen to it, everything will change. You stop overeating, you stop mindlessly snacking, you stop believing your own excuses. You learn your own patterns, your triggers, and your needs. And for the first time in a long time, you feel in control instead of overwhelmed. If there's a thing you want to take home from this, it's hope. If I can do this as a tired, overworked dad who used to eat an entire bag of candy in one sitting, you can do this too. You don't need perfection. You just need honesty and small, consistent changes. And if you want more videos that help you build confidence, momentum, and a healthier routine that actually fits your real life, hit subscribe, drop a comment down below, and tell me what it is that you're working on. We'll figure this out together. Peace.